Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
I have someone on the show who's a friend, also a fabulous professional. She's called an energy therapist. And why don't you explain what that is? Colleen Haney. Colleen Haney is our guest, and I think you ought to explain that.
Okay, well, everything is energy. So my job is raising the level of awareness in everybody that everything is energy. Everything that happens to us, every thought we have, every feeling, every emotion is all energy. So what do you do with that? No one teaches us that. No one gives us a concept. No one lets us know what we really are as energy beings. So that's my job. I'm a teacher. I'm a therapist. I help people find that awareness of themselves as an energy being, to feel the energy in their own body, to begin to look at everything in life as energy coming toward you in some way. What's the representation? What's the meaning of that? And also to realize that most of the energy that we are perceiving as energy beings, we can't even see. So,
like electricity. We can't see
can't
right?
see electricity, can't see microwaves. But yes, everything that is really going on, there's so much more here. And our world opens up to a whole new connection to understanding, to knowledge, when you open up your cells to receive. So to put that in a nutshell, I am a therapist that helps you realize what life is all about and how to live life differently. We actually are changing as beings, as human beings. Our bodies are changing. Our minds are changing. There's so many things different in the world. And it's time that we learn a new way of being.
Well, I happen to have had the pleasure of having Colleen do her energy work on me last night. And in the talking, she asked me some very important questions, and they were so important and they were so thoughtful, and I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful for Colleen to come on the show and talk about it, because we're all so not only frustrated, nervous, annoyed, whatever it is with this coronavirus, and you had some wonderful ways to express what's out there. And I would like you to share that with our audience, Colleen.
Okay. Well, first of all, the virus is a very low, dense vibration. So in energy, everything is vibration. You look at everything as high or low vibration. So low vibrations are contracted energy, meaning they're close together, it's low. If you think about depression, sadness, fear, those are low vibrations. Joy, happiness, ecstasy, gratitude, orgasm, those are high vibrations. If you think about happiness, people will say, well, I was happy for 5 minutes, or I was happy yesterday, or I was happy when I was in love. Those are things that are, they come and go. But in reality, if we raise the vibration of our physical body, we can be in that state all the time. That actually is our natural way of being. To be in joy, to have our cells vibrating, to be in a buzz, a natural buzz, a natural high. That is our state of being. So with this virus, everybody is going into panic and fear, and that's kind of like the worst thing we could do. In reality, in the bigger picture, because in energy, there's always a bigger picture. Nothing is ever looked at in the moment. It's a bigger picture of all that's going on that's interconnected. In energy, everything is interconnected. So what is really happening in a bigger picture is actually a very beautiful experience. The powers to be, as well as the universe, are actually mandating that we pause. And if you look at life the way we have been on a trajectory, it's been speeding
like a treadmill,
up.
right?
Right, faster and faster and faster, and people never have time to do blah, 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 blah. Well, now we actually have the time, and the beauty of that is so remarkable, because in energy, there are 3 states. There is expansion, pause, contraction, pause, expansion. That's the way energy moves. Energy moves as a wave. So those are the descriptions of the stages, the phases of a wave.
Say that again.
Expansion, pause, contraction, pause, expansion, pause, contraction, pause. So that's the way a wave moves. If you look at the ocean, it comes in and then it recedes. But it pauses. As it comes in, it pauses. Then it goes back out and it pauses. So the life force, the life pulse of everything has those phases to it, expansion and contraction. If you think about a baby being born, that's an expansion. If you think about someone dying, that's a contraction here, but an expansion to another dimension. So everything is on a continuum. So this is a wonderful time in that whole phase to slow things down, to slow life down, to allow us to really be in this time of beingness. No doing. Literally, we've been stopped from doing. And so we have this wonderful opportunity to be in the energy of what we are, our own beingness, to get back to those things that are important to us, to find out what wants to be birthed, because usually in that pause is all this creative energy that's getting ready to come forth. So if you think about planting a seed in the ground, you plant the seed and then it sits there. That's the pause. It's building up the energy to break through the earth, to come out and be a beautiful flower. This is the opportunity that we're in. This is actually a wonderful time. Instead of going into panic, it's like, okay, what wants to come forward? And one of the great things that can happen now is, what creativity have you been sitting on that wants to come forward in this pause time? What's really here inside of you that wants to come forward to bless our earth? So it's a whole different way of looking at, instead of going into contraction of fear, hiding, being afraid, watching the news. Please don't watch the news. Please turn the TV off. Please let yourself be in whatever those vibrations are that make you happy, whatever those vibrations are that allow you to be creative. Make some soup for your family and enjoy. Allow yourself to be in the joy of making soup. If you need to clean your bathroom, allow yourself to take your time, pause, enjoy touching the surfaces of the tile. Enjoy providing a service for your family. If you're going to use social media, let yourself pause and really enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy listening to your own thoughts. And in the pause, we can listen to our thoughts and see how much junk is there and allow ourselves that wonderful opportunity to start being conscious of what our thoughts are, what's going through our body. What are the collective consciousness thoughts right now that we want to rise above? I had a client in my office actually just before I came, and she's been having a sensation that her head is above the crowd, and if she drops down, she'll drown. And she's been having this dream now, or this awareness, for a couple days. And I said, oh, that's perfect. It's a perfect analogy to what's happening right now. The collective consciousness, the collection of all the people's thoughts, our fear, do I have enough, lack, terror, oh my God, I can't stand not to do anything. And yet if you rise above that, it's clear view, clear scenery. So we don't want to get caught up in the collective consciousness of fear, and we want to do those things that make us happy, so that the energy we send out is joy. The energy that we send out is happiness. I was talking to another client the other day out in Colorado, and she has the opportunity that she's able to walk her dogs without being around other people. And I said, that is so wonderful. I said, you can walk your dogs with that consciousness that you're allowing your vibration, your high vibration of being out in nature, enjoying what you love, enjoying your connection with nature itself, to permeate the consciousness of the universe, to go to those people that are stuck in a hospital, that are the first responders, that don't see the light of day, that don't have that opportunity. That energy, subtle energy travels. Subtle energy can go where it needs to go. So if you're in your home holding happiness, joy, higher thoughts, your energy can go out into the world and make a difference.
My guest is Colleen Haney. She is an energy healer. I call her. She calls herself an energy therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I call her.
Yeah, I don't do the healing. People do their own healing.
I know. And for those of you who've listened to Roberta Hladek of the AIM program, Colleen is very closely associated with her.
Correct.
But let me just say, I could picture just what you're saying, getting you on CNN as one of the speakers and talking, because we could put you next to the medical man and put you, because we haven't heard what you've said on the show. We haven't really, nobody has come forth like that in today's world. Because we keep listening to, okay, now they're shutting this city down, now another city down, and we're not hearing, okay, well, now everybody's, not that you can't eat in restaurants, you can't do this, but now everybody go and have fun at home.
Yeah.
And do something that you couldn't do before, right?
Right, exactly. What's the good? I mean, that in energy, there's always the two sides. So you can see the positive and negative. You can see the contraction and the expansion, but they go together. You know, they're not in isolation. So if something is contracted, that means it's going to expand. So what's the good in staying at home? What's the good in not being able to go out to a restaurant? What's the good? To start looking for the good in everything, because everything has it. And it's just our perspective.
Right, and now I think it's a good time for people to go to the beach, because the sun is good. So if you're worried about the disease, the sun's going to burn it out of you, isn't it? But now's the time to go and take care of yourself. You told me that yesterday.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Yes.
This is something we pass by. We do it for everybody
Nobody
else.
ever has time to take care of themselves. So this is a wonderful time to make that list of all the things you've wanted to do and let yourself be creative. You know, what are the things that you haven't even thought about doing? You know, I want to go home and get my paints out. You know, I want to go home and write. I want to do those kinds of things that sometimes I don't have time to do. But please turn your TV off and allow the creativity that's in you to speak. Allow that to come forth.
Of course, we all want to know what's going on, so you can turn it on for, 5
or 10 minutes.
Right, and then turn it off.
Believe me, they will tell you enough times that you will know what's going on if you listen for 10 minutes.
Right, it takes a lot of discipline to do that. Because
it can be discipline go ahead.
That.
Or it can be a choice to love yourself in a different way. You know, if we're constantly bombarded by things outside of ourselves, we lose ourselves. And that's, again, why I see this as such a beautiful time that people are literally being forced to be with themselves. You know, and each one of you out there listening, and even those that aren't listening, I just want to say, you are such a beautiful being. Let yourself know that. Just think how different our world would be if we thought good thoughts about ourselves and weren't constantly judging ourselves or judging others. You know, this is an amazing time to allow that to happen. There is a birth that is coming forth here from this, and it's not about terror or fear, and it's not about a negative future. A lot of us have been alive long enough to remember the depression or the depression memories in our family that have been passed down. That doesn't have to happen. We are co-creating this universe. Everything that's happened right now, we have co-created in some way, shape, or form. So we have a way with our own energy, with our own thoughts, to create a different outcome for what this is about.
And Colleen, I know you have more clients now. You were thinking, well, gee, who's going to come see you? So I want people who are listening to you, if they're interested in having a session with you, and I don't have your phone number. Why don't you tell everybody how to get in touch with you?
Well, they can get in touch with me through the email, which is Boca Colleen, 2 L's and 2 E's, Boca Colleen @gmail. My phone number is 561-212-6862. The website is Colleen, COLLEENHANEY.com. So there are a variety of ways that you can find me on social media as well.
And Colleen is located in South Boca.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a lovely office, and I've visited her quite a few times. And when you leave, you'll be like a new person.
And we can do sessions over the phone too for those that perhaps don't want to come out. That can be done as well.
And I'm sure you're great over the phone, but it's awfully nice to have you
there
it is.
Touching.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. If you're home with someone, touch each other, because touch releases endorphins. And endorphins raise the immune system of the body and help keep us healthy. You can even touch yourself. In fact, I would suggest looking at ways that you know how to self-soothe, because we've lost that as a culture.
Self-soothe. That's a new one. All right, what is a self-soothe?
Right. Self-soothe is what you do for yourself to calm yourself down, care for yourself, love yourself, be with yourself. You know, one of my favorite is a hot water bottle, which a lot of people don't even know what a hot water bottle is.
Have one. hot water
But I
bottle.
carry a hot water bottle with me when I travel. It's always in my suitcase. And I fill that up with hot water, even if it's from the tap, if I can't get a microwave. And I put that on my belly, and it is the most delicious thing.
I have never heard of that.
Oh, my God. It's the most delicious thing in the world.
Why is that?
Yeah. Well, it's the warmth. It's the connection. You know, I'm tapping into my center of my body. It's a little bit of weight from the water, you know, so it gives you that sense of centering. Individuals with disabilities, particularly the spectrum of autism, they've had to find ways to self-soothe. Temple Grandin, you know, one of the amazing women that has autism and has told us what it's about. She created all different kinds of machines and equipment to help her feel her body and contain her body. These weighted blankets now that you see out, and that's a way to self-soothe because you feel better. Some people feel better with pressure on them. They can feel their own containment better. And that's the idea, again, to recognize, feel yourself from the inside out. Know your boundaries of your physical body. Know that you can expand beyond the boundaries of your physical body. And know all that you are.
Well, you certainly taught me something I had never heard. I mean, I thought I've heard of a lot of things, but never a hot water bottle. I'm going to go get it. I wonder if there's a run on them.
Probably not.
Because
Probably
nobody
not.
knows, but now there will be after the show on this Saturday. But
I've got another one real quick.
I love it. We have the time.
Get a stainless steel spoon out of your kitchen. The big tablespoon, or if you have even a bigger serving spoon that has the little bowl on the back of the spoon, and rub it on the bottoms of your feet, the bowl portion. It's amazing. Your feet, of course, contain everything within your body, and there are also meridians and acupressure points on your feet. So if you spoon your feet, literally, you will calm your whole central nervous system, and you can even do it for each other. It's a great thing to do for lovers.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing. Thank you. So we now have the cold spoon on our feet. Well, I'll give you something. It's not as romantic as that, but when you have a cold or sniffles, instead of just putting Vicks on your chest or your nose, you take and you rub your feet with Vicks and put socks on. You've probably heard of that.
Yes.
I thought it was an old wives' tale. I've been doing it, but I had a doctor from India on the show, and I mentioned, he said, of course, we always do that in India.
Yeah.
So, and what is that? Is that the reason it permeates and goes up?
It goes through your whole body, yes. Yeah, and there are very important points. And a lot of the sinus and the whole center ball of your foot is your lungs. You know, so anything there on the ball of your foot is going to go directly to your lungs.
It's fabulous.
Up around your toes is your sinuses. So, yeah, the body is amazing. The body is wonderful. It's such a delight to be in a body, to have a body. And that's the other thing. I want people to know that. And most people know their body through pain, and that's a real sadness because there's so much more. Pain is contracted energy. In fact, they use the acronym PAIN is pay attention inward now. So how do we use our energy to expand that pain so we're not stuck?
Never stops with you, Colleen. I am so in awe of all the things that you know and you say. And, you know, you are educated in a different way. You actually, I think, have a PhD in hearing or
speech language pathology.
Yeah. And when did you move from that to what you do now?
I moved actually while I was at Purdue working on the doctorate. I got sick myself. I was in the masculine energy doing. I was teaching, running grants. I was driving up to Chicago 3 times a week to run a program for United Cerebral Palsy of Chicago. And I burned out. And so I went to the university clinic, and I had a wonderful female doctor that ran tests. And when I went back in, she said, well, I could diagnose you with a heart issue, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, and there was something else. And she said, or I could give you a medical leave to get out of here.
No
and
kidding.
She said, get out of here, go back and do what you love, take some time off. And when that happened, I went back to Pennsylvania and took some time, laid around, which was really hard for me to make that switch out of the masculine energy into the feminine energy, to relax, to care for myself, to take time, to pause. The pause time is much more related to the feminine energy than the masculine. The masculine energy is about the doing. And as I was just talking to a client today, we need both. And it's the bridge, it's the marriage between the masculine and feminine. Throughout our cultures, we've been fighting the masculine and the feminine. We've gone from patriarchy, matriarchy, patriarchy, matriarchy. It's the swing back and forth. This is a time where we actually get to bring it together. That's why you're seeing all the new titles for sexuality. You know, how are we using that masculine, feminine energy? Some people dress masculine today, feminine tomorrow. You know, that's the fluidity that we're moving to in this marriage, this connection in our own bodies, in our own lives of the masculine feminine energy. But to get back to the story, when I went home to Pennsylvania, I met up with a friend of mine that was a nurse, and she had just taken a healing touch course. And she said, "Oh, let me come work on you if you're not feeling well." I said, "Fine." And my gosh, when she touched me, it was like, oh my God, this is my language. And it was interesting. A few years before, I had been in a program for spiritual direction because I was going to be a nun. And my spiritual director had given me a book called Kything, Kything, which is the ancient Celtic practice of talking through the heart. And when I read these words, it was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to find a way that I can connect to people, you know, that gets out of our heads and is a language. So on my business card, it says energy is our first language. You know.
It's lovely. So you have been through a lot, and you've listened to a lot of spiritual advisors and people, and now that's what you are yourself. And I know you have a lot of seminars. You do a lot of things with a lot of programs.
Right now, everything's quiet. But if you're interested, right? If you're interested, you can go on my website or just email me at bocacolleen@gmail.com and get on the mailing list. I may start again. For a while, I had meditations every week. I may start those again now during this period of time.
When you say you start them, do people come to your office?
No, it's a phone meditation that I'll send out the information on how we can all get together, and I usually do a meditation that's about a half hour that helps you get centered in your body, helps you expand your energy, and make a connection to more than just what's here right now.
And do you sell this as a tape?
Oh, no, it's free. It'll be free.
But would you make a tape for someone with this? Is that not?
Yeah, if someone would like that, yes, I could do that.
Because, because I actually have a meditation tape that I bought a long time ago, and I listen to it a lot, you know, and it's one of the things that puts me to sleep and relaxes me. So I do understand what that is. Well, Colleen, I'm so glad that you found the time. I know it's been a push for you today, but I just felt so inspired yesterday. And I wanted people to benefit from what you do and what you tell people.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to get a different message out there than the one people are hearing.
I love your messages.
Thank
so
you,
we have to do this more often because you are unique and you are really helping a lot of people, especially at this time of crisis.
Thank you.
Because the way you spoke about it is really, I think it's very necessary.
Good.
Colleen, thank you so much for being with us.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.